Did you know that 90% of business owners do not have a written marketing plan? As women of faith in business, scripture instructs us to write the vision and make it plain. So I'm giving you an invitation to write your marketing plan and make it plain by discovering two powerful ways to successfully plan your marketing so you can attract your ideal clients and prosper in your God-given purpose. Go to nadinemullings.com/power. That's nadinemullings.com/power to get started on your marketing plan so you can start attracting your ideal clients in the marketplace. Welcome to the Women Faith Plus Business Podcast. I'm your host, Nadine Mullings. I'm an author, speaker, and podcast host, and I believe in the importance of women of faith stepping up, shining in their lane, and sharing their God-given message so they can have the impact, income, and influence they were born to make. Join me this season to discover how women of faith in business are using podcasts as their platform to share their mission-driven message. And be sure to join the Women Faith Plus Business community by going to nadinemullings.com/community. That's nadinemullings.com/community. See you in the powerful community of women of faith in business, and enjoy this episode of the Women Faith Plus Business Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Women Faith Plus Business Podcast. Now, I always say I'm super excited for every guest because I truly am, but I can honestly say this is my girlfriend from back in the days. Not only is she a girlfriend, she's a colleague and a sweetheart, and I cannot wait for our conversation today on the podcast. It is Denise Renee. Welcome to the Women Faith Plus Business Podcast, Denise Renee.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Nadine. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yes. And this season, we are actually continuing the same thing as season 10, where we are interviewing podcast hosts. So individuals that actually have podcasts and learning a little bit more about their podcast. So Denise Renee is the host of the Sell Your Book podcast, which I was a guest of. So I'm super excited for her to share all about how you can sell your book, which is a perfect topic for this audience because a lot of our listeners are authors or want to be authors. So I'm sure they're going to be leaning in to your podcast and to the information. But let me tell you some official information about Denise Renee. Not only is she a good friend and a colleague, but she is known as your business book bestie. Denise Renee is a book writing coach and manuscript editor and author. And her website is www.writingwithdeniserenee. And she helps professionals write that highlight their expertise and create what's next for their career, their business, or their brand. Denise Renee has extensive writing experience dated back to 1999. I love that. 1999.
I was born in 1998.
When I see 1999, I think of Y2K. Like all the big things, the world was going to come to an end for Y2K. It's like, seriously, no. We're in 2025. We're still here. So there you go.
Exactly.
In that time, she has edited a quarterly business journal, freelanced as a direct response copywriter, and a ghostwriter of a handful of nonfiction manuscripts. To highlight just a few of her accomplishments, her first book, which is Write Your Book, 10 Mindset Hacks to Move You from Fair to Finished. Love that because so many people are fearful of writing their new book and hardly finish. So her book helps you to move from fair to finished and is currently available for pre-order. Love it. She's of Caribbean descent. Hello, my Caribbean sister, all the Caribbean listeners out there. Denise Renee grew up in New York City and has lived in the metro Atlanta area since 2008. Mom to a teenage boy, Her favorite hobbies include doing her own salon quality nail extensions. We actually had a pre-conversation about that. Adult coloring and making YouTube videos for business and for fun. And I do have to say, I love your YouTube videos. Your editing is on point. And so I just love the way your vibe and your videos are on YouTube. So definitely check it out because her podcast is on YouTube. It is a YouTube podcast. So we'll be talking a little bit more about how you can connect with her podcast. So Renee has the podcast Sell Your Book. Sell Your Book is a podcast for existing or aspiring self-published business book authors who want to know what's working now to help you sell more books, get more clients from your book, and expand your business or branding opportunity. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So Denise Renee, we all know that, not everyone launches a podcast, right? Everyone has a desire. I shouldn't say everyone. Some people have a desire to put a podcast out there and they never actually launch the thing. So I want you to take us back before the Sell Your Book podcast was in existence, and what was going through your mind, or what made you really take that leap of faith to start this particular podcast? What was the backstory for the Sell Your Book podcast?
So the backstory is I initially just wanted to, as a book writing coach, I'm very focused on helping you get your words right and get you to the end of the manuscript. It's done. After that, I'm like,
you're done. Your part is done. Yes.
But I also know, I'm like, it's rather unfair, I think, of me to know that there's more to the process than just writing the book. That's the one-time thing. But then the thing that you need to do on a continuous basis is market and sell your book. And as a person who, even though I'm, just going through the publishing process now for the first time with my book, when I was 2 years old, right, in 2001, because I was 2 years old. Okay. I was only born in 1998.
Exactly.
And if you believe that, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. But no, seriously, when I was about 25, 26, 27, something like that, it was like early 2000s. And it was 2000 or 2001. I actually I wrote and produced my own CD. And making your own music is very similar to writing your own book, where you got to go through the production process. And man, it was just like, it was a whole process. And it was like, once I finished the CD, it was like, and I got those, that box of 500 CDs in my house. And I was like, it's done. Yes. And it was like, no, it's not done. It's the beginning.
Yes.
So now that you have 500 copies of the CD staring back at you, what you gonna do?
Exactly.
You got to sell it, right? So the same thing with the book. It's very exciting to go through the whole creation process, but then it's like, oh, okay, now I have a box of, 100, 200, 300, or they're sitting on Amazon. Now what? And a lot of times people think and assume that, hey, I'm just going to put it on Amazon and Amazon is going to sell my book. No, Amazon is going to sell whatever Amazon thinks you're going to buy. I frequently get emails from Amazon that I'm just like, child, I don't even open them because they're like, we found something for you. And I'm like, I open it up and it's like something that I was browsing a couple of days ago. I'm like, you didn't find it. You're just trying to remind me to bring me back, right?
Right. The algorithm is working. It's
not even the algorithm. They're just really trying to bring you, like, if you haven't made a purchase in a couple of days, they want to have you come back. So when I see that thing, it's like, oh, some new nail products or something that I was looking at. It might serve me up a book. It might serve me up anything for my kitchen or something that I was looking at. Amazon is going to sell you whatever they think you're going to buy. So don't think that you're just going to put your book on Amazon and people are just going to find it. You're competing with blenders, leggings, jewelry, you're competing with everything that's on the totality of Amazon. So they're not interested in just selling what you have. They're interested in selling what's going to sell.
Right.
So that was always in the back of my mind that I'm like, I want to do something. I want to have something where I give people that resource, even though it's not something that I'm actively coaching in. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? You could do a podcast where you can interview people who have sold their books, because to me, it's very easy to see the Mel Robbins, to see the Tony Robbins, to see anybody who has a book that's reached New York Times bestseller. It's easy to see, oh, okay, that's great. But you don't understand all of the things that went into making that happen.
Right.
And a lot of times, so looking at the biggies and the gurus can be very daunting. And my idea for the podcast was, I just want to interview people that maybe are not, they're not big name celebrities. You may not know them, but they are just very quietly writing books, selling their books, and growing their business and growing their brand, and keeping they're keeping the ball moving. So that was my real impetus for it, and it was in my mind for like a while. And then literally one day I woke up and I was like, girl, if you don't start this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So I literally got up one day. I can't even remember what it was, but I got up and I was like, okay, who are some people that who have books, who wouldn't mind coming on camera? And I thought of Carol. I thought of you. I thought of a couple other people in my network. I made those calls or sent those emails. Everybody said yes. And I was like, yay. So fired up the camera, wrote up some questions, and boom, that was it. Yeah. I just started, and just that was that.
I love it. I love it. So many good things. And I want to bring out a couple of things that, as you were speaking, stood out for me. First of all, the analogy of comparing music to a book. I love that analogy because it's so true. It's that creation process, the time that you spend, and then the CD comes out. And now what, right? Or the book comes out, now what? So I love the comparison / analogy that you brought to us about music versus a book, and really that whole creative process and enjoying the creative process. The other thing, as you were talking, that came to my mind too, was also birthing a child, right? The process, you hit the fun to get the child here, and then the 9 months carrying the child, then you birth that child in the world.
Now you gotta keep that baby alive.
You gotta keep the baby alive. You gotta feed the baby grows. So, but I agree with you that there's a big gap in the market. A lot of people are focusing on the creative process, birthing the book, all the fun, making the baby, and not necessarily focus on what is it going to take to keep this baby alive, to not only keep the baby alive, for it to be successful and grow and prosper and be a good citizen in society, right?
And be able to make enough money to help you retire later.
Yes, it's true. A lot of parents are depending on their kids for retirement.
Listen, I'm depending on my book. Listen, baby, you got work to do, baby.
Yeah. So really having that inspiration to start the podcast and really help people to learn how to sell their books from people that have already done it. They may not be on that large scale, but they've done it in some way, shape, or form, I think is great. And not only is it great, it's needed and necessary in the marketplace.
It was a little selfish too.
And for yourself, as you're about to launch
your book. Well, I mean, this was in 2024. So when I launched the podcast, and I was like, well, I am going to write my book. So you know what? This is low-key, like a little bit of coaching for me, y'all. I'll ask these questions. It'll benefit the audience, but it's going to benefit me too.
Exactly. And that's the great thing about podcasting. As a host, you get to learn firsthand. People are listening in on your conversations with other people, but you are also learning from the individuals that come on. So I love podcasting and that part of it and what it offers us as hosts of a podcast. So that's awesome. So I think you've had one season with 13 episodes.
Yes.
What is your vision for the podcast? Was it just initially selfishly, low-key selfish to learn? Or was it like, okay, we're going to make seasons out of this and have another season? Tell us your vision for the podcast moving forward after you launched the first couple episodes and the initial season?
So what had happened was I didn't have a plan.
Okay, okay. That's realistic.
Because
a lot of people don't.
I didn't have a plan, and I was fine not having a plan because I just wanted to take action. And because I know me, I could sit on something for years, such as
right.
Y'all, I'm gonna confess my own tea. Okay, I'm gonna sip my own tea.
Mm-hmm.
My girl Nadine is one of the people who was like, every year they're like, "So where's your book, ma'am?"
Yes. I confess I have been pushing her, nudging her. I'm like, come on now, I want to see this book.
So I could sit on something for years. So it was important to me to just, you know what, you have the idea, let's go. I got the first initial 5 going, and then I kept thinking about other people. So I had a growing list. So I was just kind of like rolling with it. And then I kind of burnt myself out a little bit. And I was like, okay, give me a moment. But I also, at the time, my YouTube channel was also, because let's see, at the beginning of this year, my channel was about 150 people, 150 subscribers. Right now, I just noticed I got like 3 more subscribers overnight. So I'm almost at 500 subscribers. Woo! At the moment.
That's awesome.
Thank you. At the moment that we're recording this. And I felt like I was so much in the creation process of booking the episodes and, getting them up that I wasn't really doing much for promoting. So when I had a bunch of people and then that list ran out, I was like, you know what? It's okay to take a pause. And to be very honest, I took that page from you because I'm like, well, Nadine does her things. She pauses. I'm like, it's okay to pause. So I said, let me pause. Right. So let me pause. Let me think about how I want to like really not only promote the episodes that I have, but also because actually some of those episodes have like higher view counts than some of my like regular videos. But I wanted to do a better job at promoting because my guests deserve that, but B, what they share is gold. So I was like, okay, so how do we want to promote this? What do we want to do? And then I got into the mindset for getting my book done. So I was like, okay, I have only but so much time during the day. I have a 1-woman operation right now, and all the AI in the world is not going to help me. So let me focus on my book this year in 2025. So I didn't intend to make it a full year hiatus, but it's okay. So I'm finishing up everything with promoting the book, and then I do have a master plan. I do have a plan for how I want to promote season 1 and introduce season 2. So that will happen by God's grace in 2026. I think I will plan it better in terms of, I don't know how many episodes I'll have, and I have to sit down and think about that. But I'm like, I will definitely have a set block of episodes, take a break, and, do another. And, I may, and also I'm like, I like the way Nadine does hers with themes. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, you've been influencing me. Right. Well, so
I'd like to hear that.
And right now, I literally just today came up with an idea for doing a summit for my book, Write Your Book. And I'm like, doing a Sell Your Book summit. So doing a Sell Your Book summit would make sense as well. So I'm like, I'm just kind of tossing around, playing around. Something gonna happen in 2020.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, well, we're going to have to talk offline about that because launching with a summit is an excellent idea. And our friend Carol is an expert at it. She did that with one of her books. So, yeah, we'll talk offline about that. So I think that's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. So I really, so my thing throughout this year was not only working on my book, but it was also really giving attention to growing my YouTube audience. Because I'm like, I want you to have more people to, get views from. And as I've been getting better at YouTube and titling things and things like that, I'm like, okay, I think I have a better handle. Of course, it's always more to
Mhm.
grow. And one thing I never did before is I never did clips. So
Mm.
I'm like, there's so much I could be doing. So now
Yeah.
that I'm using Riverside for recording, because I think I was using StreamYard at the time, and
Mm.
you can get the clips generated and da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, so I have better tools um, available to me to be able to help make some of these things, promotional efforts, easier and quicker.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So many good things I want to highlight because I always want people to, sometimes you hear it, but you don't fully hear everything. So I want everyone to hear everything. I think the first thing that is a good lesson for us, what Denise Renee said was she didn't have a plan. As much as I teach and preach plans, all right, that's my lane. That's what I love. Sometimes we have to step out on faith and not have full clarity and be in motion and action. So I think that's the first lesson that we can all take away. Don't wait for the clarity. Don't wait for a full plan, but be in momentum and movement and move forward and take that first step. Make that first phone call, film that first podcast, whatever it needs to do. Be in motion, even if you don't have a plan. The second lesson I want to highlight for everyone that Denise Renee just mentioned was pausing. Now, I love pausing, and thank you for saying that it's something that you saw me actually practice, because I do preach pausing. I'm actually in a season of pause right now from a lot of activity, as Denise
There's
Renee
good reason.
yeah, and I will share, as Denise Renee already knows, I recently got married, and it was really put in my spirit, yes, to pause for 90 days. And 90 days is always a number that God puts in my spirit. So I got married in June, and God was like, no, you're not going to do your usual stuff. You're going to have a season of pausing from July through September, and then we'll see what God reveals to happen come October. So pausing is so powerful because it allows you to hear from God in a way when you're in movement and just doing the things you
You
can't
just can't.
fully hear.
Yeah.
So you need, and it's also good for you. Because as Denise Renee said, you get burnt out, right? Doing all the calling, scheduling, all the behind the scenes of running a podcast. It can be a lot, it can be a lot. So being able to say, okay, now I'm pausing, I'm taking a break, I'm listening to God, trying to hear from him for what he desires. And I will share one of the things that I do in my pausing season is the first question I said, ask God is, do you want me to continue this? Right? I don't want to just be on the hamster wheel just because I feel like I need to be, but I want confirmation from him that yes, I want you to continue. And this season, for season 11, it was a big pause because I was really thinking, oh, 10 seasons is good. That's a good number to end it on. And I felt like this was it. This was the end. But God was like, nah, you got a couple more seasons left in you. Couple more seasons. So let's continue the podcasting and really going deep into podcasting and how people can use their voice to spread their God-given message. We're not stopping yet on that message. So I really, have to use that pausing season to really hear from God. So I love that you paused. The other thing was promotion, right? Sometimes it takes repurposing content, making shorts, reels, or whatever to get more exposure to a particular episode. So really changing your promotion plan or how you promote is so important. So I love that you shared that. And also seasons. I think that's another thing that came up.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the season that you're in. It's okay that she said it's been a year since she did the podcast. We're now in 2025. That was in 2024. Her season now is focusing on her book. So be okay with whatever season you're in and just look for guidance and direction to where God desires for you to go next. So I just wanted to highlight those few things that you mentioned and let the audience know. So I know you shared about the vision of the podcast, the why behind the podcast. If someone was to watch, actually, I have another question before I ask that question.
Mhm.
Why did you decide on YouTube alone? A lot of times people do video and audio and have it like on iTunes and Spotify and other places and not just on YouTube. But I did notice that you chose to do a video podcast, number one. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's mainly just on YouTube. So let's talk a little bit about your decision making with that.
So actually, when I started it, I did have it on other platforms. I didn't have it on iTunes, but I was using a tool called Transistor.fm. I
Mm.
think that's what it is. And so it will distribute it to other podcasts.
Mhm. Other
It'll take your
platforms.
feed and it'll distribute it to the different platforms. I never went through the process. Apple is Apple. So I had to do like back flips to get it on iTunes, and I just never took the time to do it. And Transistor is a paid service,
Mm.
and I was paying for it for a while, and I was just like, you know what? Since I'm not doing any new episodes, I'm not going to continue paying for this for right
Yeah.
now. Um, but yes, I was always YouTube first because I'm just a YouTube first kind of girly. But
Hmm.
YouTube is growing their platform. But what I really and even as I think about bringing it back, I don't know if I'll use Transistor again. I think there's a
Hmm.
way to like I can upload to like there's five major platforms. There's a Spotify,
Hmm.
there's Apple, there is Spotify, Apple. Oh Lord,
There's it was no Anchor.
Anchor
Spotify
got
took
bought
a
up.
yeah
Anchor
by
got bought by
Spotify.
Spotify.
By Spotify. Yeah.
Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple, Google,
Yep. Google.
Amazon, and there's another one that's like major. I wonder if it's iHeart. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
YouTube has a YouTube podcast. Well, yeah.
Yes,
No,
you
you
have
already
YouTube
have that.
podcast,
So
right?
yeah.
So I think that I can directly upload to those platforms. So I'm like, if I at least have the five major ones, fine. And but I really like YouTube as a platform because it's searchable, right?
Yeah.
As long as you don't do foolishness, your YouTube channel is not going anywhere. So it's very, very searchable. I still get views on my older podcast
Hmm.
episodes.
Hmm.
And it's just searchable. Which is why, I don't really do much on TikTok. I don't do anything really on Instagram. I've only started posting on Facebook again only because I have a large contingency of people that I know in real life. Like
Yeah.
took the time years ago to like, I don't know, I had like over 1,000 friends, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know you.
Hmm.
So
But
I
they're
cut out,
friends.
yeah, I cut out all the people that if I never met you in real life, if you're not part of my
Yeah.
family, my real friend circle or whatever, forget it. We're not friends. You could just follow along and see my public posts. But
Yeah.
I rarely post over there. But I found that it is actually helpful for me for just at least letting my family and friends know that, hey, I'm alive.
Mhm.
And then B, just to let them know what I'm doing because sometimes I get, so a family or friend can refer someone to me. Um,
Mhm.
but for the most part, I don't really give much attention to any other platform except for LinkedIn
Gotcha.
and YouTube. So
Mm.
I'm just a YouTube person. I just love the searchability factor of it. I love that it's just there forever. YouTube gives you a playlist, and you could just go to my channel, go straight to the playlist, and listen to everything.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. So that's a good lesson for us too. Don't feel like you have to be on all the things. I say that for social
Because the
media.
other
You don't have to.
platforms are not searchable. That's
Yeah.
the thing for me. They're not. You got to drive traffic to these podcasts. They're not going. These platforms are not going to promote you.
Yeah,
Not the way that
definitely
YouTube
YouTube.
does.
Yeah, YouTube is number one when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to being searchable. So we all have so much time, energy, and effort that we can put out there and bandwidth. So being focused and really deciding, okay, this is where I want to focus my time, energy, and effort is on this one platform and maybe another secondary platform is
And that's
totally
it,
fine,
child.
even when it comes to your podcast, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to, and even if like you use tools like she mentioned that distributed on other platforms, it still takes time, energy, and effort to make sure that tool is working or whatever's behind the scene.
You got to
So
pay
you have
for
to
it.
trust the process that the right people will come across your podcast, even when you're focusing just on one particular channel or two channels. So yeah, I love that you made that decision when it came to your podcast. All right, so back to the question I was originally going to ask, which is if someone listens to one episode or they binge watch the entire season of Sell Your Book, what is the one thing that you desire that person to take away from the podcast. So if they listen to all episodes, right, or they just listen to one, there's a one theme or central thing that you desire for people to take away from the Sell Your Book podcast.
That you can do this. And you can do it your way. And you do not and should not compare yourself to anyone else.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of discourse, like at the time that we are recording this, Alex Hormozy just did like this mega ginormous out of world event for his third book launch. And I see like a lot of YouTube videos, everybody's got something to say, right? And I saw this post on LinkedIn yesterday, and it just said, "Am I the only one who hasn't drunk the Hormozy Kool-Aid?"
Nope, they're not.
It made me laugh because I'm like, okay, look, I like some of the things he says. I don't necessarily agree with everything, but at the end of the day, I realize that this person can do things that I cannot do. Okay,
right.
He has money, resources, teams that I don't have access to. And I think we get caught up when we're like, oh, wow, well, Alex Hormozy did all of this. Mel Robbins did all of that. I got to do it too. Do you have Mel Robbins' team? Do you have Mel Robbins' money? Do you have Mel Robbins' audience? Do you have Alex Hormozy's, but 1/10 of Alex Hormozy's money? Then you cannot do what they do, right? So I think that there are things that maybe we can take, but we can emulate people or admire them, right? And when we want to kind of take a strategy, you have to step it down, right? Like when you travel from the US to Europe, you have to get like one of those converter thingies because the voltage is different, and if you plug it in, and it'll explode your poor little computer or something like that, right? So you need to transform that electricity. And the same thing, right? Like taking advice from the biggie gurus should come with a warning label. Like, kids, don't try this at home. So it's fine to, take inspiration, but understand you can't do what they do the way that they do it. But the reason why I started my podcast is because I'm not interviewing the Alex Hormozys. They've got platforms. I want to see someone who looks like you, who nobody, they don't have a huge platform, whatever, but they're quietly going out there and selling their books. And these are the ways in which they're doing it. And it's having an impact. So you don't have to do all of the things like he did. And if you get to his level and you want to, go right ahead. But you don't have to, right? And so I really wanted to make it be like the everyday entrepreneur, the entrepreneur next door that you don't know is quietly, changing the life with their books. And then the other thing is that the beautiful thing about writing books and being in the nonfiction space and being a business book author is that you don't necessarily have to sell thousands and thousands of copies of your book for it to be profitable. There's so many different ways in which you can take your book and have a lot of different leveraged opportunities that come to you. I started a series on my channel called $1 Million Books, right? So, and the premise is that you don't have to sell 1 million copies of your book. You just have to have the right topic and have the right monetization strategy for the book. So whatever your goals are, you can make them happen. And if you're going to emulate anyone, emulate someone who looks like you in terms of where they are in their status or, social media reach or whatever. Everybody's just out here, writing and doing their thing and taking one step at a time. And you can do it too,
Absolutely.
Committed to the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to confess, I know nothing about Alex Hormozy. Nothing. Like a lot of people tell me in life in general that I live in a bubble and I'm under a rock, which
That's
can be
okay.
true because I don't watch television. Like I don't watch
No, he's big
television.
online. He's big online.
Yeah, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I know, but I don't watch television. I don't. There's certain things I don't watch the news. So half the time I have no idea what's going on in the world. So with Alex Hormozy, I see so many posts about him, and I think I would have been curious and I googled him, but as you know, I just didn't feel led to learn a single thing about him, even though he's supposed to be big. But I see
Look, he's a gym bro. Okay, he is like the buff gym.
Yeah, I know nothing about him.
That's fine.
Nothing.
You're not missing anything, and you and I are not his audience, right?
Yeah,
and that's the other thing. I'm like, I'm not his target audience. He's looking for people. I'm gonna say it. He's looking for men making a certain amount of money in certain types of companies that he's looking to invest in, right? And he's clear about that. So he makes no bones about who, not the white part, but I'm like, how many people fit? What types of people fit the profile that he's looking for, right? So I'm like, I know I'm not your audience, but it doesn't mean I can't learn something from you anyway.
Yeah, and not only that, a lot of the posts that I see are not his audience. That are people that are posting about him saying that they're watching is not what you just described. It's people that look like us that are following him. And someone was like, "Oh, his launch was 10 hours long." I'm like, this man has so much influence that people will listen to him for 10 hours. To me, that is amazing. But I've just had nothing in my spirit has. Yeah, I nothing in my spirit has a desire to even know what the man is doing. So, but yeah, so that is amazing. But takeaway,
you still know his name.
I know his name.
Isn't that
because people have been posting. I know nothing about him, but people have been posting, and I know information like his launch was 10 hours and whatever they said. But besides that, I don't know what the man does and how he does it. But he has influence, that's for sure, and impact. I should say he has influence, impact, and income, and that's something that we're all desiring in some way, shape, or form. Not at the level that he has, maybe, but we all want some influence, impact, and income when it comes to the work that we're doing in the world, whether it's a podcast, a book, or a business. So I love that the takeaway from your podcast, Sell Your Book, is that you can do it. No matter who you are, you can do it, and do it your way, right? Do it your way. And don't compare yourself to other people. So no matter what episode you listen to, always remember with selling your book, you can do it your way, and don't compare yourself to other people. So I love that. So the best way, I think we kind of talked about this already, but the best way for people to listen to your podcast would be on YouTube, I'm assuming. We're going to have the link in the show notes, so you can definitely click on the link, and you can also search for Sell Your Book Podcast on YouTube, and that will be the best way for them to listen, right, Denise Renee?
Yep. So, awesome. My channel is youtube.com/@ Writing with Denise Renee. So
check out her channel, and then definitely check out the podcast on her channel. And what's the best way for people to connect with you in general to learn more about the amazing work that you do in ghostwriting and helping other people? And maybe you want to share a little bit more specifics about your services, and then how people can reach you. And if you have any giveaways, I didn't really mention this ahead of time, but if there's any special offer that you want to share with people, you can do that too.
Sure. So, YouTube is the perfect place to find me and my content. I post pretty frequently there. Also, LinkedIn is my other main channel. What I like about LinkedIn is you can DM folks. So you can definitely follow me on linkedin.com/in at Writing with Denise Renee. No, they don't. LinkedIn doesn't do the @ symbol, but anyway, it's linkedin.com/in/Writing with Denise Renee. Send me a connection request and say, "Hey, I saw you on Nadine's podcast," and I'm happy to connect. And then there's my website, which is writingwithdeniserenee.com. So what I do is I am a business book writing coach. All right, so I don't really do ghostwriting anymore. Okay. So basically I walk people through the process of writing their book from beginning to end. And then I do provide editing either as a developmental editor, which is basically the coaching part, or as a line editor. I don't do proofreading. That is not my ministry. So if you already started on your book and you're like, I think I'm done, I'm not sure, you want me to assess your manuscript and tell you where you're at, I can definitely help with that. Or if you're like, hey, yeah, help me tighten up the words, no problem. Or if you're just like, I need help getting started, I do have a free and a paid version of my 4-step system. So you can go to writingwithdeniserenee.com/4 steps and the number 4 steps. And right at the top, you can actually just download a free version of it where you get the 4 steps and a little bit of background on it. But if you want to go deeper and just pay a little bit more than free, I have a whole workbook and a audio lesson that goes along with that. And you can really dive in, and it really helps you get started immediately with writing strategically so that we can get to all of those different benefits that we talked about earlier.
I love that. And I cannot end this episode without having you plug your new book. So you have a book coming out. It's in the pre-launch stage, so pre-sales stage. So tell us a little bit about that book, and then if people are able to join a list or let us know about the book.
So you can go to www.writyourbook.tips, writyourbook.tips, not .com, not .biz, not anything, .tips. So, sorry, and you can grab a copy, grab your pre-launch package, and you will get immediate access to the first 3 chapters. So write your book, and it also, that page will share with you a little bit more about the book. But it is basically, when I first started helping people with writing their books back in like 2017, 18, something like that, I was getting a lot of people saying, I want to write a book, but I don't feel like I'm an expert. I want to write a book, but I feel like, I haven't been in business long enough. I want to write a book, but, I don't really have the writing chops. I want to write a book, but, and there were about 10 things that I just kept hearing over and over. And at the time I was like, oh, well, me being the writing expert, I'm just like, you know what? All you got to do is da-da-da-da-da, and boom, no problem. So I actually wrote a first draft of the book back in 2019, and I put it down, and then I did another round of revisions in 2020, and I put it down again because I felt like while it was a good book, I felt like it doesn't really help me. It didn't feel aligned with what I was doing at the time, which was I was ghostwriting. So I'm like, encouraging people to write their own book. How's this gonna really play into me, turning them into a ghostwriting client? And so I put that book down and I started writing a different book. And I was like, well, I need this type of a book. So I started writing it, but it just wasn't coming together. And then also at the same time, I was really rethinking whether or not I wanted to do ghostwriting. I had a couple of business experiences that some were really great, and then some were just like, what just happened? So I pumped the brakes. Okay, I pumped the brakes real hard, pulled the emergency brake, and said park. And for a while, for about 5 years, I wasn't really promoting myself. I was just kind of taking referrals. So, I was working with people, but I wasn't like, I'm doing that, because I was really just thinking and just like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this? So when I finally kind of came out of all of that and was like, and felt like I had a renewed vision for what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, and I was like, okay. And I was like, let me look at this manuscript. And because I thought, I was like, man, even if I had been kind of in the hiatus mode, even if I had published this book back then, it could have still have been helping me to, build up a list and things like that. And when I reread the book, I was like, girl, you dumb. what is wrong with you?
What? Yeah, that's fair before, right?
But when I read it again, it felt very clinical, right? It was just like, well, I'm the doctor and here's what I prescribe. And the process, right, that I've gone through, this kind of hiatus valley, hit
Mm-hmm.
the sand. It really helped me to empathize more because
Mm-hmm.
because I've always loved writing, and because one of my degrees is in writing. I used to be an English teacher in high school and all this
Mm.
kinds of stuff. Writing is not my challenge, but I did have a challenge with, for a long time. Like, I could have published 100,000 books a
Mm.
long time ago, but I
Mm-hmm.
never did because of my own what fears,
Yes.
right? Right. And I was like, oh, okay. So I feel like I could have put it out then, but I don't think it would have the impact that it would have now, because now I rewrote the book, right, to come from a more empathetic place. So the
Mm-hmm.
strategies are still the same, but now I'm sharing a whole lot more of myself and just helping people really walk through that emotional journey, because it's really about seeing yourself transform from where you were to where you want to go. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to be an author. I am an author. And like, okay, I am a thought leader. Like, I am worthy to share what God has given me. It's
Absolutely.
like, so and it can be a transformation process. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a better book. It's a better book
Yeah,
now. And I'm like,
definitely.
okay, all right. We have to go through the fire. All right, come on. All right.
I was gonna say maybe the title of your book should have been "I want to write my book, but dot dot dot." Since that seems to be what everyone's saying, I want to write a book, but dot dot dot, right? And 10 tips or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm excited for you. I'm super excited for you, and like I said, I'm here for you. Definitely want to be on your launch team. Whatever you need from me, and however I can support in the launch of this book, I got your back, girl.
Oh, I
And I'm
appreciate it.
excited for the book to come out. So definitely check out all things Denise Renee, her podcast, number one, her YouTube channel, and then her book that's going to be launching really soon as you listen to this
And I have teasers
episode.
on the channel about it. So
Yeah,
everything's
as you
on
listen
YouTube, honey. Everything's on YouTube.
definitely connect with her on YouTube. All right, Denise Renee, it has been a joy. It has been a pleasure to connect with you, my friend, my colleague. Thank you so much for being on this episode of the
Thank you for
Women,
having me.
Faith Plus Business podcast.
Did you know that 90% of business owners do not have a written marketing plan? As women of faith in business, scripture instructs us to write the vision and make it plain. So I'm giving you an invitation to write your marketing plan and make it plain by discovering 2 powerful ways to successfully plan your marketing so you can attract your ideal clients and prosper in your God-given purpose. Go to nadinemullings.com/power. That's nadinemullings.com/power to get started on your marketing plan so you can start attracting your ideal clients in the marketplace. Thank you for listening to the Women, Faith Plus Business podcast. I hope this episode has been insightful and inspiring and has offered you an opportunity to take action to transform your life and your business. Wherever you are listening, be sure to rate and review the podcast and also subscribe to get the next episode right in your inbox by going to womenfaithandbusiness.com to join our email list.